All right, Alex.
What you seeing?
I got 122 flag, 107 front, uphill. I'm excited to share with you a lot of the lessons I've learned on the golf course to make you not only a better golfer, but a golfer that people are going to enjoy playing with more. Really is the opportunity to make an impact on a lot of people in our lives. Both Melissa and I are in service to a lot of people, especially for me on the golf course and that experience I provide to my clients. But I've learned so much about people, about relationships, and I'm really looking forward to bringing those tools and lessons to our community here at Links and Lifestyle. Hello, friend. My name is Scott Epstein, also known as Scottie the Caddie. Welcome to the Links and Lifestyle podcast. Just like I say every week, I'm grateful to be here, and I'm thankful that you're taking the time to listen. I know there are many things you can do with your time, and I appreciate your decision to spend this time with me. Let's kick off caddying part 2. Last week, we teed off caddying through 2017, the front 9. Now we're going to grab snacks and beverages at the halfway house and finish up to the present day, March of 2026. The member guest at Matita wrapped on a Sunday in July of 2017. That Monday, I got to my office where I was working as an executive recruiter. My manager and his manager were in very early, which seems strange on a summer Monday. They were in the office early to let me go for my role. Looking back, it was a moment that shaped my path in life. I knew when I left that office that morning, I did not want to work in that type of office setting ever again. It directly led to us making the decision to relocate to South Carolina because of my desire to be a full-time looper, which cannot be done in New Jersey based on the winter weather. So by the grace of God, who I did not know that well at that time, and an awesome member in New Jersey, who was also a member at Secession Golf Club in South Carolina, I got the opportunity to be outside all the time and relocate our family. So in early February 2018, I drove down to Beaufort not knowing a soul. I arrived on a Saturday, went to an AA meeting that night at a local church and met 2 Secession caddies. We grabbed a bite together afterwards. Walter, or Fitzy, was my first and closest friend here in South Carolina. He passed away back in 2021. He had 30 plus years of sobriety and loved to eat just like me. He was a wonderful human being with his deep Boston accent and his high-pitched squeaky voice. I think of him often. That Sunday morning, Super Bowl Sunday, when the Eagles beat the Patriots, I met my new boss, got my uniform stuff, and I was super pumped. The caddy master at Secession, Greg Crum, it was a man amongst men. He passed away back in 2022, and his impact on the club and his caddies cannot be understated. This past January, I wrote a piece about him highlighting the opportunity he gave me. The impact his life had on so many was a testament to a life well lived. We have an annual event in January in which caddies play with members. Greg's wife, Michelle, who I know is listening, attends and gives us all an update on her life. It quickly became one of the best events of the year for all that attend, and one of the many reasons why Secession is one of the premier courses to loop at in the country. Greg said I would start at the bottom, and the rest is history in a wonderful way. That first season exceeded my goals and expectations. My amazing wife, Melissa, and the kids were in New Jersey working, going to school, and preparing to move down to South Carolina. In April of 18, we closed on our home in Bluffton. I lived there for a few weeks and oversaw the delivery of 10,000 pounds of stuff from a moving truck before heading back north for the summer. Over the last 8 years since we moved here, my experience at Secession and the Conch in the summers has been truly magical. I have many regular customers who in some cases have become like family. I enjoy many of my coworkers. Caddies are a special cast of characters for sure. Close relationships and holiday cards is a small part of it. When our family went on a mission trip to Poland in 2024, some of my golfers who have become dear friends stepped up in their support, which was overwhelming. The give and take I enjoy with them, discussing life events, experiences, the seeking and sharing of advice is such a gift. It has such an impact on my life and hopefully on theirs as well. It is one of the coolest parts of caddying. I know a lot of caddies who share a similar story. Quick note, not every rounder experience is smooth sailing. Back in 2022, I had an excellent player out of Atlanta for a couple days. I won't say his name or the member he played with. He gave me one of the best compliments I've ever received. He told me my combination of wit, seriousness, humor, reads on the greens, and needling of the players was amongst the top 5 experiences he ever had from a caddy in all of his travels. That was a game-changing moment for me. It let me know I was doing something right. On the flip side, I was told by one of my coworkers last week I was on the do not fly list from a member, meaning he wanted anybody but me as part of his party. I was upset for a quick second when I learned that, and then you will use the tools in my toolbox to deal with it. Maybe I had a bad day. Maybe the member had a bad day. This may come as a shock, but I am not perfect and do not think I am in any way. I cannot help but think of Jerry Seinfeld's mom, I'm a huge Seinfeld guy, in an episode when she says, "How can anybody not like my son?" I got news for everyone. Not every single person is going to like me or you. I prayed on that experience that evening. I turned it over to God. I chose to learn from it, was willing to make amends, let it go, and I'm focused on what I do and how I show up today. I have my sobriety and the program of AA to thank for that. I've met so many amazing people, some famous and some infamous. I often say, if everyone in this world enjoyed what they did for work and where they went to work as much as I did, the world would truly be a better place. Getting paid to be outside, be around great people, simply be myself. I take a lot of pride in it, and it's something I like to think I do very well. So now that I've highlighted my caddying background and the impact it has on me, let's discuss some of the ways that golf mirrors life. Patience. Golf requires patience, as you may hit a great tee shot and still end up in a bunker. It is a reminder that results often come eventually and not immediately. We live in such a I want it now world that this is one of the best lessons golf teaches us. As of this recording, I have no clue how many people are listening or are going to listen, and I'm not that concerned about it. I'm being led by my faith and Jesus to step into what I'm doing with both this podcast and our Links and Lifestyle subscription box business. It feels great and it feels right. Tangible results may not happen next week, next month, or next year, and I'm okay with that. God has taught me patience. Sobriety has taught me patience. Over the last 7 months, I've made a major effort to be more patient with my 2 teenage daughters, Haley and Gwen, and the results have been noticeable. There are literally a million other areas of life where being patient is impactful. Where in your life do you need to be more patient and allow things to happen? Persistence. Golf rewards those who do not give up, who analyze, adjust, and try again. It is about showing up round after round and believing you can do better. Golf is hard. I get asked all the time on a loop if I play golf, and my answer is no. I know how hard golf is, and that is why I do not play. I then make a joke that I'm extremely fortunate to enjoy what I do. I mean that when I say it, but when I'm not on the golf course working, the very last place I want to be is on the golf course. Usually that lands very well, and the player completely understands and gets it. Most golfers show up to play and believe they can do better than the last time they played. That same law is very applicable to life. I believe I can show up better every day as a husband, a father, a son, a friend, a business owner, you name it. I can be healthier today than yesterday, more loving, more patient. You get the idea. Adaptability. Golf requires adaptability as you may encounter unpredictable conditions and must adjust your strategy accordingly. On the golf course, this is easy. Maybe it's gotten very windy. Most golf groups are 4 players and the match is usually 2-on-2. So if your partner is struggling or not playing well, you must adjust your strategy. I work with some very good caddies at both of my courses. Maybe your caddy talked you into hitting too much club or not enough club or misread a putt. No caddy is perfect. These all require a golfer to be adaptable. In life, a million things could happen. Job loss, promotion, health issue, addiction, family situation. Being adaptable is vital. These lessons can be applied to various aspects of life, helping individuals to navigate challenges, improve themselves, and achieve their goals. Next week, we'll talk about 3 more lessons. Be sure to tune in. Let us bring this episode to a close and revisit the title of the episode, Caddying and How Golf Mirrors Life. Golf has given me the life I live today. I would not live where we live or do what I do if not for the wonderful game of golf. I would not be sober or enjoying the walk I am with Jesus without the game of golf. It may be the hardest and most difficult activity or sport one can try, My close friend from New Jersey, Eric, who I know is listening and recently took up the game. Eric, golf is a sport. Yet most players cannot wait to play it again and again and again. I am wicked excited to use this platform to make a positive impact. It is such a gift for me. I mentioned mantras earlier and things I say aloud to myself. One of my mantras for 2026 is 2 words: uncomfortable awesomeness. Putting my story and testimony out there, being authentic and vulnerable, the things I'm going to share on this podcast as we move forward is uncomfortable and scary, but awesome. And I have golf to thank for that. Let's close this episode powerfully like we will close all of them. Win for the week, challenge for the week, Bible verse. Win. I made quality time for each of my kids this week. Alex was home from spring break and I got to spend solid time with him and his girlfriend, Quinn. I had a great time going to a school play with Haley Friday night, and I enjoyed some one-on-one time with Gwen throughout the week. I did a solid job of slowing down and being where my feet are. Parents out there, our kids are growing up fast, so take the time to enjoy it. Challenge. Procrastination around one thing in my life. Doing abs and stretching a second time each day. I always do them in the morning as part of my daily work routine. I'm a big planner. Daily, weekly, monthly, and give myself check marks and X's for certain activities. I won't bore you any more than that. Since the start of the year, I've wanted to do abs and stretch a second time each day, and have given myself X's on my weekly grid every day for not doing them. Declaring on this podcast is going to move the needle and push me to start doing abs at night. I will update next week on how we do with that one. Bible verse. I chose James 1, lines 2 and 3. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that testing of your faith produces perseverance. This passage leads me to reflect on all my past trials and challenges, and there have been plenty, especially around my career and marriage. Some very painful and expensive lessons have been learned over the years. A lot of pain and obstacles. They tested a faith that I did not know existed back then, but exists today. I realized those trials shaped me to show up the way I do and were part of my journey. This season of life I'm in will test my faith without a doubt, and I'm not stopping. God bless, and I look forward to seeing you next week.